Salutations, sleuths. I'm Gina.
I'm Maria.
And we are
Fortuitous.
Boom!
I have a certain routine.
Why are your movements so petite and dainty? You're like, I have a certain...
Because I am petite.
You are. You're quite small. I heard the word ajar used in my favorite podcast.
Us.
Morbid. Oh, no.
No. No, not us.
No. Yeah, shout out to Morbid. I heard Elena use the word ajar, and I'm like, they heard us. They took that from us, right?
Yeah,
That's what that was.
We started that for sure.
That word did not exist until you utilized
I said it on Gina's bachelorette trip.
Yes. Big moments. We need to wrap this up because it is International Cat Day, and I need to get to my cat.
So, speed it up. Places to be, cats to love.
No, business?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, gosh, all right.
We got some Biz Nasty, and I have splendid news. Let me pull it up. The Biz Nasty is that we're on the Tube of You, aka YouTube. Yay. So if you want to...
Silent claps.
If you want to watch us and our weird selves, then you can see the full videos. So,
Welcome.
Yeah, so it's just 2 videos, though, because the rest of them weren't recorded horizontally, and so I wasn't going to put them out there.
We're like a fetus in the YouTube world.
Actually, yes.
So, any feedback, welcomed.
Yeah.
Except don't hurt us. And also,
gentle feedback.
Maria did all the work, so don't hurt Maria.
So, if you're going to blame anyone, it's Maria. And if anyone's going to see it, it's Maria.
Yeah. If there was anything bad, it was Maria. If any good thing good... Wait, I had that reversed. Okay, start over.
Yeah.
If there was anything bad, it's Gina. If there's anything good, it's Maria.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with it the first time.
And just blame it? No.
Yeah, if it was bad, Maria.
No, I'll take the hit because I haven't done shit. So, I'll take the hit because I haven't done shit, yo.
Oh.
This is my radio show, yo.
The new summer song, yo.
Okay, well.
All right, yeah, so we're on YouTube. So if you want to watch them, you can. And the whole point of like the YouTube videos too is like it's a little bit more like raw, unedited video. So, you know, over on like Spotify or the audio, we kind of take out some of like the long dead air where we're trying to think. The video, I think I leave some of it in there.
You don't leave... You leave it in there?
Some of it.
Oh, no.
Because you can tell, you can see it. So that's a different thing, is you can see that we're actually trying to do something, or we have our thinking faces on.
Was my fart in the last one?
No, I've edited out the burps and the farts.
There was a moment where I told her, I'm like, pause it here, I have to fart. And I'm pretty sure, I hope you took that one out.
There was 3 moments. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, good news.
Yeah.
Love to hear it.
And then the other splendid news is if you've been following our whole journey in episode 1, Toxic Traits, I may have mentioned that I have a particular toxic trait where I punch things when I'm a little angry.
Oh, no.
Which included my radio. Good news is that radio is now fixed. Almost to the date, 1 year exactly later. It was like just 1 week short of being like a whole full year.
Oh my God.
The radio is actually fixed. So I can now take like the speaker that's hanging in my car. I can take that out. I know.
I don't want to give too loud of a round of applause and bust some eardrums, but that's exciting. I'm proud of you.
I know. I can
What?
now like listen to like fucking Bluetooth and podcasts and all that stuff.
What took so long?
Another toxic trait is just procrastination.
Okay. You are not one to procrastinate. I don't think that's your trait. That's toxic.
I'm a big procrastinator, yeah.
Are you, though? I feel like you really get on top of shit.
If I want to, something I don't want to do, then 100% it's...
Dude,
it
music
down
to
the
me
road.
in the car is so essential. I will have that shit fixed week.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple times where I did try, right? So like I took it to Best Buy and I bought like a shitty radio off of Amazon and it wasn't compatible, didn't work. So then I would just like shat out $300 for nothing. And then second time was we tried to do it ourselves and again, not compatible. So again, another waste of time and money. So finally I bought what I thought was an exact replica of my 2016 Toyota Highlander radio. Open it up. It's not exact, but it still worked. So
you did this and you fixed it yourself.
I watched Vic and I helped Vic. I held the light for Vic. And like helped him remember like, hey, this screw needs to go back in.
Okay. Wait, so please tell me you got your money back on the first two scenarios.
No.
Oh god.
If someone wants to buy a shitty Amazon radio for $50, I'm going to put it on Facebook Marketplace because it will fit in some car. It just didn't fit in the 2016 Highlander.
If you want an opportunity to meet a celebrity, come buy our $50 radio from Maria.
Or if you want an old ass broken screen radio, because I don't know what to do with an old radio.
You got me.
Junkyard, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, give us some more. What you got?
No, that was just the exciting stuff, was that my radio is fixed. We're on YouTube. And then today's topic is blessings and curses. Things that are both. Arguably both.
Okay.
They can be blessing or curse or curse.
Okay.
Did you bring a list? Well, I have like on my laptop
Hold on.
a whole ass
Unpeel
list
it.
that I can scroll. Nice.
Yep, there she is. I'm kind of proud of it. Here's the thing. I'm going to add to this list me. We're going to get it. We're going to start strong. I am your blessing and
Curse.
You have asked me to be on this show with you, this little podcast, and I'm glad I am, but you are getting the most unprepared, most unqualified participant, and this is what you get, but you get me, so.
Well, it wouldn't be the show without both of us, so
That's what I'm saying.
blessing and curse.
You're welcome. You're welcome for providing me this content.
And a lot of these will depend on like your perspective and perception, which there is a difference. Perspective is like the lens that you see the world, aka like how's your glass? Is it half full? Is it half empty? How you see the world. Perspective. Perception is how you interpret it. So what do you do with that information after you have perspectivized it?
That is actually a huge part of what I was thinking about today when I was really starting to kind of start my list today.
Yes.
I was thinking of, okay, well, literally anything could be a blessing and
Yeah.
a curse. Anything and everything. So this list was my starting point, I guess, brainstorming, but it really came down to, I could tell you that tequila is a blessing and a curse. You
Yeah.
know? That phone, like
My couch.
items alone. So I have a few things here, but I'm more intrigued to see what you brought to the table. I feel like they're going to be a little more deeper concepts.
I try to have a variety of deep and not so deep.
Okay. I have a couple deep ones, but for the most part, I mean, it's just kind of, it was more so a time to reflect, so I don't know how much I'm going to bring to the table in this episode, but I got a lot from it, because I'm like,
Really?
yeah. When I was starting to kind of think of certain things, I'm like, oh my god, everything is a blessing and curse. It's all exactly what you said. Glass
Perspective.
half full, glass half empty.
Yeah.
Perspective, perception.
How you see the world. And like some weeks, something is a blessing, and then other weeks, when I am hormonal, it is a fucking curse, and I hate it. And so it just depends on the day.
So I'm ready to jump into it, but I could list 100.
I know.
I've got a lot.
And like, yeah, you could make this easily multiple parts. But yeah, so we'll just preface this with, these, I mean, I'm going to try and devil advocate. So I didn't try and be too strong opinionated on any or the other. Because, I mean, everyone's going to think differently on these things because everyone does have different perspective and perceptions. Okay. So just because we say it, or if we didn't say it, doesn't mean that it's not applicable.
Okay.
And then some of the things I have on my list that, like, I can't really speak from my own experience, but from outsider looking in, or I did pull some data for some stuff. So
Okay. Shall you start or shall I?
I'll start because you started last time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because I started with just this last one.
And you did actually start, so yeah. So my first one, just dive right on in, children.
Yep.
Blessing and a curse. And like this, you could really spend like a whole episode on as to why they are one or the other.
If you've been with us for a while, you kind of have an idea that we are more of these little demons are cursed. For right now, we will change one day. Mm-hmm. But I think you and I are on the same timeline, same path of like, right now, I don't see those things as little blessings yet.
Blessings, no. And I don't, like, and if you have kids, let me know. Did you ever see, I know some people do see children as blessings before they even have their own kids. And, you know, I got a list of reasons from the internet as to pros of having children. Just because I was curious, what do other people say the benefits of having kids are?
What'd you find?
So
what do you got?
So one of them was talking about, because neither one of us have them, I didn't want to speak from experience. You experience a love unlike any other that you've ever had, and it's unconditional love. Which, yeah, I mean, if you never have a partner, then you never get to experience the love of having a person. If you don't have kids, you don't experience that type of love. Mm-hmm. Apparently it's different.
Okay.
So that was one of the things. You create like this little mini version of yourself, and if you love yourself, love your partner, then what's not to love of this little bundle of thing that you've created? Mm-hmm. And then,
can I add on to that?
Yeah.
I think it's the other way around too. If you don't love yourself, but you find this unconditional love for this new being, maybe you learn to love yourself, because it's like, how can you love something that you created and then not love yourself? I don't know. Maybe it teaches you a new side to yourself while you're building a new person's life.
Maybe, but that's a very selfish reason to have kids.
Definitely not the reason. Like, let me reproduce so I can learn to love myself. No.
And that's what, I mean, there's a big argument out there of having kids as selfish or selfless. And I would argue that it's selfish.
What? Having kids is selfish?
I'm saying having kids is selfish. That's where I'm going to put my foot down.
Okay, bitch, you're going to have to elaborate because everybody's like, the fuck, Maria? Including me.
Okay, well, hear me out. So the kid did not ask to be born. So you made the conscious effort that you are going to create this thing.
Okay, you've already got me.
Okay, so you're creating it for yourself, right? Or you could argue that you're creating it because it's part of the human experience. Okay, so again, selfish because you want to experience that. Or you can argue it because it's an investment in the future. You're helping repopulate the earth. Again, though, we are overpopulated right now. We ourselves are killing the earth with our carbon footprint, with our industrialism, with everything like that. So now you're going to be selfish and add to that when there's a shit ton of other kids that need to be adopted. So why aren't we just using those kids?
Okay, that I can see. Now we're hitting the perception side. I can see your side of perception on how it's selfish and how we're not prioritizing taking care of what's already here and
we already
not
have inventory.
Home.
Like, why are we not using the inventory that we have? Recycle, you know? And that's why it's selfish, because you want your own little one. You want your genetics with your partner's genetics.
You're right. I don't know if I have any argument to that.
I mean, I would say, like, the selfless part is, like, yeah, you give up your old life. You take on all this responsibility, and
that's where my head's at. I'm like, when you take up a kid, that's a fucking work. Now you're speaking to the population that is actively trying to have kids. Some people don't have kids, don't intend to have kids, don't want kids, have the kid, and then find their way around. Okay, well, shit, I've got a kid now, I've got to raise it. And it was more of a mistake, but they don't call it a mistake, they call it a blessing. So, Surprise, yeah. So you are speaking to a circle where that doesn't cover all. So I don't think everyone that has kids is selfish. Perception.
And that's what I'm saying, like a preface at the beginning, like we're not going to hit every single scenario, and not having kids, like there's only so much that we can speak on. But I think if you are actively wanting to have a kid, then that is selfish. You become a parent, and the acts that you do, that is selfless.
Okay, now I'm going to reel you back in, because we're talking about having a kid is selfish or selfless, but aren't we supposed to be talking about
if it's a blessing or a curse? Yeah, so that's a whole other, it's a thing within the thing. Okay, so back to the pros. You get to witness them grow up, and you get to experience a lot of the first. I can only relate to that, like when I think about like the cats that I have, and like when they were kittens, and like, you know, when they could start eating solid food, when they could start, you know, running or whatever, then yeah, that was fun and enjoyable to watch. You get a support system, and you know, I love hanging out with, you know, my family, my parents, and so then you create that for your future. What are the other pros?
I'm thinking trying to put myself in a new parent's or on long-term parents' shoes is that you're in a position where you find yourself loving these kids eternally? Hold the phone.
Forever?
Forever.
Eternal.
Okay.
Intrinsically would be internal.
I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm trying so hard to put myself in the shoes of a parent. But, oh yeah, I mean, you're finding yourself with a new priority, and that is your family. Like, you do everything you do for your family.
Yeah, purpose. You now have purpose.
Yes. Some people, before they even know it or think about it, they find once they have kids, wow, I think my entire purpose of life was to raise this human being into being something great or something, you know?
And to like make the future better, or give them a better life than I had, or, you know, something along that lines.
I did have that conversation with my mom. I'm like, what's the point of having kids? This place is overpopulated. Like, we don't need anyone and need any more. And she gave me lots of reasons. She's why to have kids. But she's like, for all you know, you could be the creator of something that's going to make this world better. But you'll never know if you don't have them. So that's kind of up to you. I'm like, well, shit, Mom.
It is the biggest gamble. I don't know how people just make the decision so willy-nilly. I have gone back and forth on the decision for years and years. Teeter-tottered, seesawed forever on it.
Because you've got two sides. You can either not have the kid and prioritize yourself of being that for your parent and being the one to change the world, or you can be the one that creates the person that's going to magically change the world. Like, are you prioritizing yourself to be something great, or are you prioritizing creating another thing to be something great? I'm also very honed in on the word great, because we're going to, in this scenario, assume that you're not creating a demon child, okay?
Well, so that's what I have on my cons. What if you just create a spawn of Satan? I mean, serial killers exist, and there's just something in the, call it nature, nurture, whatever it is. You know, we don't know what causes serial killers. What if you birth a future serial killer? And actually, because one of the stats I wanted to look up was, okay, how frequent is parricide, which is the killing of the parents, where a child murders
Parricide?
Parricide.
What? Word of the day.
Yeah, this parasite commits parricide.
Sounds like a parasite.
That's what I literally just said. Yes. Welcome. Take it as your own. Wrap it up. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm with you. All right. And then it's like patricide if it's killing the dad, matricide if it's killing the mom, parricide, just parents in general.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a thing, because I hear it on the True Crime podcast. So I was like, okay, well, how frequent does that really happen? And I got some stats. And according to the FBI in 2017, so this is outdated a little bit, it says 2% of all homicide cases were parricide. So if you have 15, and that's for 1 year. So if you have 15,000 murders in 1 year, 300 of those were children killing their parents.
And that seems small, but that's 300 kids killing their parents.
That's 300 parents dying because of their kids.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was a big number.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so let's not even go to the extreme of like serial killers or whatever, but let's say you have a child that has extreme mental health issues or physical issues. So now taking care of that child just became a whole lot more difficult and expensive than what you were originally thinking or planning, unless you just happen to think of it ahead of time and be prepared for it.
Or, okay, I'll push at that one. Let's say that your kid has autism and you never in your life dreamed of having, I mean, I don't really know anyone who actively wants a child with autism, but you choose to take on that challenge and go through with the pregnancy if you find out ahead of time that you're going to have a kid with autism. You have the kid and you have this whole other life ahead of you. Your life is a flip, okay? And blessing or curse. Is that like, oh my God, my life is over now, it's, you know, this is not what I wanted to do, you know, I could go down the list with that.
More than I bargained for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you can be the game changer to so many people's lives because you are integrating yourself into a whole community that you probably never thought you'd be a part of.
Yeah.
And you're changing lives because depending on your outlook and your personality and who the person you become while you raise that kid. I mean, think of it. There are Paralympics.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that one down, okay? These are people that saw that blessing or curse with their children having autism or whatever have it.
Well, they saw it as a blessing. They made the best of it.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm going to make this kid great. And that person in turn goes and changes the perspective
great
for so many
things.
people.
Yeah.
What do you think? Kid, blessing, or curse? We'll end it here. Unless you got more.
I was going to ask like a difficult moral question.
Oh shit.
And it doesn't
okay.
need, you don't have to answer it, but I'm going to put it out there.
Okay.
Because we're getting more medically advanced. So if there ever comes a day where you become pregnant at very early stages and you go and there's these tests that you can do and you can test to see if there's going to be any mental health issues, if there's going to be autism, if there's going to be Down syndrome or what have you. You can literally test for everything. Would you do the test? And then if you get those results back and it's not what you're wanting to do, what would you do with that child?
It's tough.
You know, do you call it quits? Like, I'm not ready to handle that?
I mean, isn't that kind of already a thing? Like, autism is one of them.
Oh, I think Down syndrome is also another one that you can test. I don't know about autism, but I think...
No, I'm using that totally inappropriately. Yes, for Down syndrome, you can test that.
Yeah, you can test. But as far as, like, you know, other stuff...
Like, finding out they have a bad mental illness, yeah, I don't know. I think I would probably pick a test, and it would be the thing that I know I can't sign up for or I don't want to sign up for, and I would just test that one thing. And if it's anything else, we'll roll with the punches. But maybe there's just, and I won't call anything out. I'm not going to put myself out there like that. But there are some things that I don't think I could handle.
Right. And, you know, it's hard to answer now because you're not on that bridge.
Exactly.
It could be totally different day of. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. It's still my child and I'm still going to, you know, have it.
And I have my religious beliefs where the person next to me is going to have a whole different outlook.
Right.
And it's going to impact their decisions and, like, you know, to each their own. So, I mean, my decision is, I just said my choice, but that could change in 3 years from now. I know I'd be a whole different person just from 3 years from now as I am 3 years ago from now.
Yeah, every year.
So what do you think?
If they're blessing or curses, well, I think they're both.
No, to answer your own question.
Oh, I think that if you get to that point, you're probably playing God too much and science is starting to interfere too much. And I think it'd be better to, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know what I'm getting on board. But then you have that child with that knowledge already. So then will you treat that child any differently? it's possible maybe that they got it wrong, or that it's not as bad. Or if you don't know about it, then you're not going in with those preconceived notions.
I think the biggest thing is, you never know what life's going to throw at you, especially when you sign up into a marriage or whatever lifelong relationship you have with a significant other. Mm-hmm. So I think if I were to go down that path, hands down, it doesn't matter what I want. I need to make sure that I'm on the same path or the same terms as Greg. If we are not on the same, exactly. If we are not in the same terms, well, then we're not going to have it. Like, I'm not going to actively work to have a child, and then when the day comes, then he's like, I don't want to deal with that shit. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get rid of this baby. It's my body, I'm not going to do that to him.
Right.
And I don't want him to put me in a shitty situation either. Like,
right.
I think at the end of the day, to really answer your question, it would come to a very ongoing long-term conversation between me and my person.
Right. What do we want?
Yep.
At the end of the day, what do we want?
So, and it maybe, I'm not saying it would for us. I hope that would never happen, but for some people it could end things. But as long as you figure that shit out before you bring that person into the world.
That's what you need to figure it out before. I feel like so many people have kids and then all the stuff that they never talk about happens. Oh, and that was another thing, too, that I forgot to look up, is I wanted to see, like, how many people divorce because of their kids. The kids entered the chat, and then it ruined the marriage, and then they get a divorce.
Well, it's tough because you can never prepare for what the fuck they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You can
what
say...
kind of strain is it gonna put?
My anxiety-having ass that is like, what if this? What if this? One person, blessing or curse, I'll throw this one in there.
Anxiety.
Like, talk about being prepared for every possible case scenario. I make sure to ask all the what if questions, and that is definitely a curse, because it's like, chill the fuck out, enjoy the moment,
just
whatever
live
happens,
life.
happens. Yeah. But I'm also like, I need to be sure that we are on the same game plan here. If you're, plan A and I'm plan B here, then it's not going to work. But that being said, we cannot plan for everything.
Right. So. Vic and I have talked, because that is something that's brought up. I was like, we have something really great going on. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have kids and then, like, we resent or hate each other. And so we have come to agreement that when we have kids, like, we are still each other's number one. Mm-hmm. Your partner comes first. And I know people will disagree with that, and that's to each their own. But Vic and I have decided that we come first. Our relationship comes first.
Would you, if you were really sick, have you ever thought of this decision? Like, if you're really sick during labor, would you tell the doctor to save me or the baby?
Save me. And
me too.
And I've asked Vic, I was like, okay, if we're in labor and you have to decide, save me or save the child, your ass better be saving my ass.
Because I can make you another one kind of thing.
Well,
that's a tough one, because who knows what would happen after that experience.
Right, but then he's raising the child on his own, and he's doing it without his partner, or vice versa. Yeah. It's like, no, like, we decided to have kids because it's something that we wanted to do together. I don't want to raise a child by myself.
And then, that would be someone on the other side that's like, well, again, you're playing God. Like, you were meant to create that baby so that you could, and then it's not your turn anymore. I don't know. It's all... Perception plays such a role in this. It's insane.
Right.
And sorry. I was going
to say, that's why this one alone could be a whole episode, because there's so much to it, so many layers. But
this whole entire episode is going to be trigger warning.
I don't know about that. But
Well, I guess we started off strong, didn't we?
With children, yeah.
Damn it, bitch.
This is what happens when Maria goes first versus Gina. Not all of mine are like this. So I'll just say that.
There was something I was gonna say earlier, and I completely forgot. Fuck. But it was so important. I felt it was very important that I say it.
I was gonna say, was it important?
It's gonna kill me.
We were talking about Vic and I picking each other, your partner, childbirth.
Oh, and then I was saying, like, me and Greg, and that we need to cover everything, and You can't always cover all your bases. Oh, that's what it was.
Nice. Okay.
Yes, I got it. retry. At the end of the day, I think it's important that you at least build a staple and that you have
Build
a
a
very...
what? Sorry.
Did I use the wrong word? Build a staple? That's not it.
Build a...
Common ground. Very generic, very vague. What am I going for here?
Like a base? Build a... I got even less of that. Keep throwing more words out.
Okay, I don't know.
Thesaurus.
Yes, common ground is that it's important that him and me have at least the same general consensus all the way around. For example, we have agreed that when things get tough, we make sure to work it out, or we make sure that we take a walk and come back. You know, that's a small one, right?
Right.
We're talking about having kids and deciding how they impact our life down the road. When things get tough, when those days come, that whatever decisions we make, we have to try to come on the same page. And if we don't come on the same page, okay, well, then what's our game plan? How are we going to work around not always agreeing?
Agreeing, right.
You have to agree to disagree sometimes, right? That's just the name of the game.
Compromise.
But how, like, yeah, what are we sometimes going to have to sacrifice? I don't know. You can't always have the answers, but you have to at least, and I'm talking as someone who has not been married for a long amount of years, and
you're not even married at all.
Yeah, I don't have kids. The game completely changes.
Right.
You're not even playing basketball in basketball. You played basketball, and now you're going and fucking doing.
This is like playing basketball online instead of like going out to an actual court and playing basketball. We've not been there.
That's not even what I was gonna say.
Okay. Then I don't know what your point was gonna be.
What is it called what's the sport, the Winter Olympic sport, where you bobsled?
Where the fuck did you get basketball?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you're going to play basketball and now you're gonna go do a bobsled sport.
Okay. So 2 different things.
Yeah.
Got it.
I was thinking sledgehammer. I don't even know. Words were hard in that moment.
They are.
Words are hard this entire... In general, yep. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, I mean, I didn't even go down the road of, like, giving birth as being, like, a big, like...
Yep.
Thinker for me. Because I also have stats on, like, how many people died during childbirth or because of complications of childbirth. And it's, it's a lot. And
you're not even touching on looks. See, you're touching on the health aspect, where it's really hard to, or we've kind of touched on it. You love your body.
I love my body. I worked really hard for this.
Yeah.
And then, like, quote unquote, ruin it, or like, you change it. Will it ever go back?
My friend, and who knows how deeply she actually feels it. It could have just been like, you tell yourself what you need to say to convince yourself that you feel that way. I don't know. But it spoke to me. Like, regardless on what she feels for herself, I really hope she is truly feeling this
Genuinely
deeply.
Thinks that, yeah.
Because it spoke to me. I mean, she's like, I've never known how to love myself as much as I have while, being pregnant. Because my body is
afterwards.
Doing some of the wildest things. Yeah, like, your body is so capable, and you don't know it, I don't know. She spoke these beautiful words, and I got goosebumps reading it, because I'm thinking, oh God, she's just grown up and matured so much just in this time she's been pregnant. I'm just so happy for her. So, she had the baby, by the way. Woo.
Okay, so this is a different person that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, you don't know this person.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah, let's move on from kids.
Toughie.
It's a stressful topic.
Okay, well, I got some lighter-hearted ones because, of course, you can bring anything to this conversation.
Yeah.
Being tall. It's tough up there, Like, you can have pros, you can have cons.
Is this man being tall or woman being tall? Because I feel like it's pros and cons to both. Because if a woman is tall and she's looking for a taller man, not that, height has anything to do with it, but...
Yeah, I mean, the person that I asked generically. I'm like, what would you consider a blessing and a curse coming from a man that is in fact 6'4"? He was like,
really?
being tall. Wait, no, he's, 6'6".
Damn.
So he's a taller guy.
Yeah.
He plays volleyball. And I'm like, blessing, you've been put in, you know, it was like almost too easy to find yourself in a sport, you know? Like,
if you didn't play that sport, it would be blasphemous.
yeah, I'm like, well, what are you doing with that height? Go do something with it. Either that, basketball, swimming, I don't know, whatever have it. Like, do something with your height. That's a beautiful thing to have. But he's like, I'm just so tired of people asking me how the weather is up here. And
oh. So the con is bad jokes?
No, I mean, it was lighthearted. But, you know, I'm sure that can be conflicting for some things, like walking through a door that's not made for you. Or
yeah, if you live in the fucking Shire.
Yeah.
Like, with civilization today, we have, you know, not many people are like 7 foot tall. There are some people, but society today has architecturally or architecture-wise built houses to accommodate taller folk.
Okay,
so.
let me just like throw that one out because you're right. It's like, shut up, you know? Having big tits.
I have that on my list.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I figured that we would have some of the same. But yeah, I have that on mine as like a blessing and a curse. Blessing, obviously, because big tits. I mean,
Everyone
who doesn't love big tits? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can wear these outfits, be hot, sexy. I guess con is, you know, you get some looks from some people that you probably wouldn't want looks all the time, or catcalls.
Creepy people.
I mean, my con that I put immediately was back problems. That's the first thing I thought of.
Exactly.
I
have had a couple. We've had a couple of friends, my cousin,
Yeah.
that have actually had to go through breast reduction surgery for no other reason than they were actually having back pain so bad they had to.
Oh yeah, a pain in the back.
Like, oh god.
And
sucks.
like, I feel like that would hinder my athletic abilities or my desire to want to do athletic stuff. I remember in 5th grade, there was this one girl who, you know, she matured really early and really quickly. So 5th grade basketball, she's running up and down the court, dribbling the ball, and she's getting whacked in the face.
Did she wear a sports bra?
Yes, she wore 2 sports bras.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, getting whacked in the face with her own titties.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hilarious at the time, but I know that she was always going through back issues.
And I'm sure the ladies with the big racks are getting the wrinkles at an early age.
The sagging.
The sagging is going to suck.
Gravity is not your friend.
No. And I don't know, like, it's hot. I'm still like, I'm happy for you, but I am so not
I'm happy
envious at my age.
I'm happy with the itty bitty titties.
I'm not quite in the itty bitty, but I am definitely on that side. Like, I'm not too small, but I'm small. And I like that.
I'd say you're medium.
Like, are you having wrinkles? I'm already having wrinkles.
No.
Wait, do you sleep on your side at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have wrinkles down the middle.
Really?
'Cause, yeah.
No.
Yep.
I don't have any of that.
And I hate it because I'm 27 years old and I already have wrinkles on my chest because I sleep on my side, and
That's wild.
it just, yeah. So I asked, I'm like, what's the solution to that? Greg's like, lay on your back. I'm like,
but yeah, stretch out the wrinkles.
2 different directions, okay?
No, Moses has came and he has parted the sea right between me. Like, there is just a huge gaping. Like, even if I try, I cannot get cleavage. So I do miss having some sort of like some kind of cleavage, because I went through a fat phase. So I used to have titties. I used to have some, you know, little bouncers, and and you know, aesthetically, it was like nice. But yeah, it was kind of annoying trying to run or work out when you're having all of that.
It's really nice to have for placing things in when you need to store some shit.
My phone goes straight through. It's black hole.
No, I went on a run today and I put my key in my boob. It was perfect. It just.
Oh, I can actually store stuff in between because there's
Good.
enough, space. So
Okay.
my keys will just sit right there.
That's awesome. Good for you.
But I mean, I would say small titties are a blessing.
I think if being someone who is on the small side, I think, sorry ladies with the bigger boobs, come to the dark side if you can. If you could make it that choice, get tiny boobs.
Yeah, I go braless 90% of the time. The 10%
Exactly.
is when I have to be in the office.
Exactly. There was a point during COVID when I was not wearing a bra.
In the office?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Because I could.
No one else was
Nobody
in there.
knew. Nobody was around. It was wonderful. So, yeah.
Nice.
What other reasons? There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly stuck with practicality and aesthetics.
Or just like, have you ever ran around the house naked?
All the time.
Because
Just
that's
like
the
every
thing.
day.
And it's nice when you're running around the house naked and your boobs aren't.
They're not whacking you in the
Yeah,
face.
it doesn't. Well, it's not
It doesn't
just
hurt.
whacking, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
The drop like
That hurts the top of the. Yeah.
that could hurt.
A visual for the video. More incentive to check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, go check this out.
All right,
yeah.
but sticking with, I guess, appearances, I put fat, PH, fat ass. Blessing and curse.
What's the curse here?
I had a hard time coming up with a curse. But
Yeah, everyone wants a fat ass.
Okay.
Tell me what's wrong with that?
And this is what I was saying. I was trying to be like devil's advocate. Let's say it's like too fat and like thick with like the 5 C's.
I've only seen too fat because it was likely fake. Okay, I just said it.
Could be fake.
If
Or-
it's not fake and you have people judging being like, that's fake.
Yeah, I mean that's
And
not
it's
really
not
common.
fake.
It's no. It's I'm thinking though, like when you're running, you can get some serious below the butt chafing. I don't think I've ever had like a PH fat ass, but I've had like a little bit, enough of a donk to when I go on long runs, I get the chafing underneath the butt, in between the butt cheeks and like your hamstring. That'd be kind of like a con.
Okay. Well, haven't had that one.
It's called Vaseline. Clothes are difficult to fit, maybe. But nowadays, I feel like they're making more clothes for fatter asses.
Curvy. Go for the curvy. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I have not.
It's not really cursed to a fat
I
ass.
don't know.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
I guess it's just a blessing. Shall we fat ass it off?
Shaboom! How is she?
The mic's in the way.
Oh.
So scoot over to. Okay. Shaboom. Not too bad. All right. Oh, I have the wrong
Show
shorts on
me
for
your
this.
ass. Oh. Nope, she's looking good. She's looking thick. Oh, you gotta stay in a certain position.
I know. And
What is
that's-
it? Oh god.
That arch.
All right, well, come check us out on YouTube and check out our asses.
But don't tell us.
Don't tell us how flatter.
We
weird it
already
is.
know. All right.
My turn, ma'am.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Is it yours or mine?
Intellect.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
I did have that one also. Yeah, you just become a little bit too aware, and it's kind of depressing.
Well, that's a different one because there's emotionally aware, and then there's intellect of just knowing too much. So those.
Well, I think
those
that
are
can
separate.
tie to the emotional part of it.
It can, but for this sake, keep it separate with me. Can you
Okay.
imagine just knowing too much, holding out emotions, or thinking about how certain things will affect people?
I maybe need an example. Like, what do you mean knowing too much?
You work with NASA and you know when the last day of the world's going to be because you know when a meteor is going to hit because
Oh.
you are so goddamn smart and that's where your life is.
That's a very specific example.
Like, can you
But-
imagine knowing so much that you have this leverage of knowing the last day of the world?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you not
Sucks.
get depressed or upset about it? If you're taking out emotions, then you don't fucking care.
Okay, that's not what I meant then. Sorry. I
Okay.
was thinking of something else.
But I do think that intelligence is like a blessing and a curse. There's a saying, stupid people are happier for a reason. You know?
I'm very happy.
The happiest I've ever been in my life. Why do you ask?
It's good over here.
But yeah, I mean, I think that goes without having to explain too much. I did have that one on mine. I guess kind of along those lines, empathy, I would say, is a blessing and a curse. So you feel the feels, man.
That was my emotional one that I thought you were kind of tying in, but it's like, no,
Yes.
that's not it.
Oh my gosh, like, because there is no middle ground. There's no gray area. It's one extreme or the other, and it's usually the maximum extreme. So when I feel sadness, it is hardcore sadness, like rip your heart out, break it in half, hollow hole in you sadness and depression. But when you're happy, then like it's extreme happiness. When I'm angry, it's extreme anger.
Empathy. Wait, I think about how you don't have so much empathy in some cases.
Specific cases.
Very specific, yes.
And I do have empathy. I just don't RSVP to the pity party. To the self-pity party is what I don't do.
Lacking empathy.
No.
That is lacking empathy. Bear with me. You have the heart, but you also don't give two shits till
No,
he's feeling sad.
I do give shit. My whole thing is like, get over it. Because it's like,
hear yourself.
life is not fair. So why are you crying and bitching about it? Accept it and move on.
So this is where lack of empathy.
And it's not lack of empathy. I have been in this situation. I do feel your pain. But then I think
What does empathy mean? Let's look up the definition.
I know what it means.
I guess I don't, because I don't think that you have empathy. But maybe I need to get educated. Give me a second.
I do, because I can watch a very sad video and I will bawl my eyes out. I feel for that. And there's a lot of times where Vic and I cannot watch specific movies at a certain time because I don't have the emotional capability to deal with that. Like I'm spent for the day. I've used up my battery. I cannot cry, or I can't watch dramas because I am feeling all the feels that those characters are feeling. I do have empathy. I sympathize with what the rock bottom basement that you're going through.
I'm not going through it anymore.
So defensive.
We're past it. Remember, I'm stupid and happy, okay?
I sympathize with it. I empathize because I have been there. And I'm saying what I lack is patience. So I don't have the patience for people to hurry up and get over it. Like,
but you don't think that empathy plays a role in your patience timeline? That you understand that you're feeling a certain feeling and allow for it to linger on how it affects you for a while?
and your hurt was my hurt also.
No, we're not talking about me. I'm talking about in general.
But I know there's a specific example that
This is not, I'm not thinking about that at all, actually. That's so funny. That's not what I'm thinking about at all. Now I'm catching up. Okay, I see where you're coming from. No. Okay, let me define empathy. Because technically you're right. You do have empathy.
Yeah.
The ability to understand and share the feeling of another. Time has nothing to do with empathy. So you can feel the feelings and you understand what they're going through. But I think that to the degree of empathy, like, I think it's patience has to play a role in that, right? Like, you can feel bad, like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, you're a manager and your coworker is going through something really rough and you've been there, but you're also like, but we have a job to do, so like, can you kind of wrap it up, like take the day off and then come home and come back the next day and figure your shit out?
You can still empathize that person is going through the loss of a loved one or whatever. But yeah, at the same time, like, shit still needs to get done. The world keeps moving. You cannot stop life. It keeps happening. And that's where I'm saying I don't have, like, I don't know if the word is patience or what. Like, because I do feel the feelings. Like, okay, when someone has lost their, like, you will never be on the same timeline as another person when they're going through their shit. Someone loses their cat, okay? Let's say that. I will 1,000,000% empathize with that, and I will start crying for them. But I'm not going to grieve the same amount of time as they are.
Right, but when they grieve for X amount of time and you're like, okay, it's been a week.
I won't do a week.
I'm, again, theoretical. Like, we're putting timeline. I think empathy has a lot to do with timeline. What was our original conversation here?
I don't know. We've gone really down the rabbit hole. But, okay, it's not... And this will, like, segue into my next one, which is good. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Ooh.
Okay, but it's very unhealthy to grieve for, like, and you can argue what the timeline is, right? Let's say 2 years later and you're still grieving about that same thing. Don't you want friends to tell you, hey, woman up, man the fuck up. You need to keep moving.
I think it depends on what they're grieving over.
Like, I'm not going to be, like, fucking rude about it, but I'm going to try and get them to, like, move past it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, then they're stuck in that shitstorm.
They have to figure it out for themselves. And I think that's where empathy comes in, is that you have to you understand where they're coming from. Now, you kind of, like, your world goes on, and if you can't keep up with what they're going through, and, well, that kind of breaks relationships at times. But.
Well, I think that's where I get annoyed and lose patience, because I did figure it out for myself. So it's like, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you figuring out? Mm-hmm. Come on. Like, I feel like the frustration is, like, on my end that I can't help them. Like, I've done it. Why aren't you doing it? Not mad at them, per se. Mm-hmm. More annoyed at the helplessness on my end. Mm-hmm. Or maybe both. Who the fuck knows? I mean, patience is not a forte of mine, so I also am impatient. Even though it took me years, you know?
Yeah. And it also, maybe it has everything to do with, like, age. Like, if, let's say that, you know, you're 30, and the person that is going through whatever is 25, and you have 5 years on them. And let's say that, you know, in this particular situation or example, you went through what you went through a year ago, and they went through what they went through a year ago. It took you 2 months to get over it. It's taking them this entire year and plus some, because they're 5 years less mature, and it's just a different point in their life. For all you know, maybe they 5 years ago, or sorry, you 5 years ago probably would have taken a whole year to get over it or whatever.
Maybe. I don't think it depends on, like, how many rotations around the sun you've gone. I think it depends on what life experiences you've had.
Yes, everything to do with that.
You know, a 30-year-old
very many variables.
Deal with it way less better than a 20-year-old, depending on how or what they went through.
Talk about a rabbit hole. Okay. Yeah. Blessing or a curse? Empathy. I think empathy is a blessing.
I would call it a blessing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather feel the emotions extremely than not.
Not to mention, it's a curse because, well, shit, you went through something tragic too. Oh, damn. Okay, that sucks. That means that you went through something bad.
You go through, well, are you saying you specifically?
You in general. Like, the person that has the empathy, the only reason you're allowed to get the empathy card is because you went through that same thing. So it's like, oh, fuck. When they say, I have empathy for you, that automatically entails that they are a vet of that situation.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, oh, shit. That means that they have gone through something bad. And the curse is that knowing someone has empathy is to know that they have gone through something also sad or tragic or whatever.
Yeah, but the blessing is now you have that person to talk to. You can relate to them.
Exactly. So, blessing or curse? It's a blessing.
I would say blessing.
Or in some situations, people, we'll use this as an example, that have lost a parent, and then they join a group that is like people that have lost a parent or a loved one, whatever. And they have been in that group for X amount of time, and they haven't figured it out, but they're on their own timeline and have been there for, let's say, a year, and they are now dedicating their life to impacting other people that are kind of fresh on the boat. And then you see this new person that joins, and they are having a really hard time, and now they have this blessing of a person, which is a curse for that person, because it's like, oh, fuck, I went through this. but it's a blessing for that person.
You were going so far.
Stay with me. Stay with me.
I'm trying.
It's a blessing for the new freshmen.
I need my pen and paper. 'Cause, like, where are we? How many people are we? How many have graduated?
I really thought in my brain, I was like, I'm doing really good at explaining this. Was I not? Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You know what? For anyone who is staying with me, I'm going to finish this out, okay? If you're not, then fast forward 20 seconds. For the person that just jumped on board to this group, it is a blessing to have someone who has been through this for a while and is able to help them. Because if they were coming on board and, you know, everyone's at the same timeline, that can be tough because you're like, well, shit, who do we have to look up to know that we're going to get through this?
But then you all figure it out together.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Oh, shit, fuck this. Moving on.
Easy peasy.
All right, I'm giving you a easy one. Starbucks.
Curse. First it's a cult and then it's a curse.
Sorry. Excuse me while I choke on my water. Why is it a cult, bitch?
Dude, everyone with their little Starbucksy cups.
You never got a Starbucks?
No.
Go get yourself a Starbucks.
No.
Join the cult. Join the cult.
Nope, I'll stay out of that one.
I can't say it's a cult, but I don't know. I think it is. Coffee is coffee, and I like a nice coffee. It's also an aesthetic. I like their cup.
So, cult.
It's not a cult.
Believe what you want. There's perspective and perception. My perception is it's a cult.
The blessing is that if you're into Starbucks, it's something to look forward to. It's like, if there's any treat yourself, do that over Coke any day. Like, stick to that before meth. I don't care.
Are you saying Starbucks specifically or coffee in the morning in general?
Starbucks.
Okay.
Yes. And I do have / coffee existence.
That's just a straight up blessing.
Yes. But Starbucks, I don't know, like, it's a curse because it's expensive, and then you're kind of like, once you're into it, you're kind of hooked, and
You're paying for the name. It's really not that much better.
yeah, and taking away from the Starbucks, going back to coffee existence, everywhere coffee that is coffee out is expensive. So my love for coffee is tough because anytime I go get a drink, it's easily $7, $8 with a tip.
Oof.
And that's me getting a very, I guess, bougie drink, but kind of because I have to. Like,
Are you one of those oat milk?
Well, I have to drink oat milk.
Yeah.
And that's an 80% upcharge
Yeah.
right there, okay? And then, you know, I don't want it to be too sugary, so I'll do the sugar-free vanilla. So that's my go-to drink, and I do a decaf. So I do a decaf latte, because I love lattes.
I love lattes.
It's a good treat. That's my treat yourself, with sugar-free vanilla and oat milk. And then I tip. That and like that's a medium, right? So I'm giving like $8 for that drink.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks. It tanks me in my bank account. But it's lovely. I love coffee.
I think a little treat yourselves every once in a while is fine.
I have a girl I work with that does it every day, and she does Starbucks too.
I used to
Every
be
day.
that, but for Smoothie King. So there was a Smoothie King close to the campus of Lindenwood. Every morning I would go and get the exact same smoothie, which tasted like a Reese's peanut butter cup. And it got to the point I was such a regular that, I think I've told you this, where I would just pull into the parking lot and they would see my car and they would start making my drink. So when I walked in, it's ready and I like just grab it, pay, go. It was $35 a week. Because it was like, I think, $7, or I would go weekends also, so $5 a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, let's touch on this. Why is Starbucks a cult?
Because of the whole, like, having to get, like, that Starbucks cup, and then it's more expensive when it's really not that much greater, and it's the whole aesthetic aspect of it, and then, like, the whole, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory or if it has been confirmed of, like, they're a bank, and, like, you have your little Starbucks card, and, like, they make you dependent on them. Who is their fearless leader? I'm going through all of the
Wow.
checklist of
Done
the
your research.
Well, Maddie
Don't know
and
about
I did
any of this, but do tell.
Maddie and I did that episode on the cults, so I looked up characteristics of a cult. It seems kind of cultish. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out later.
That's hilarious.
People are ride or die Starbucks people.
I do know
That's-
a few of those.
You know, so that's
Yeah.
a pretty extreme belief.
I like Starbucks because it gives a nice coffee, but I actually don't like Starbucks because I know places that can give just as good of a coffee for for your more bang your buck.
Yeah.
Like it'll be about the same price, unfortunately, but they're actually not filling it up to the brim with ice, and it's not 3 sips, and the cup is not in a certain shape that it looks like it's big, but it's really like the
It's the same
equivalent of a
size.
small.
Yeah.
So Starbucks does get you, but
And then you're still going.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do have a gift card, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it tomorrow for my treat myself Friday.
Good for you. Yeah.
Join the cult.
Never.
I'm gonna give you a gift card, so you have to use it.
No. And I've gotten gift cards before, and I will use them because, you know, and I'm almost like intimidated to go into Starbucks. Everyone is always ordering these fancy ass drinks, and there's so many times where, like, this was before I drank coffee. Now I know what some of the terminology is, but I would have to Google, like, what does this mean? What am I trying to order? And then go in with my phone with the exact order that I want and have to tell them this is what I want.
Yeah, ordering gave me a lot of stress, especially when I did have to find myself ordering the oat milk. I'm like, do I say that before or after the sugar? Or do I say grande,
Venti.
like grande, hot, decaf, oat milk? Like, what's the order? Oh, God. Ordering a coffee has been stressful, but at some point you're just like, this is what I want, put it in whatever order you can, whatever.
Yeah, I saw this one thing the other day where, because since we're on the topic of like ordering coffee, do you find it less manly if a man goes and orders a coffee with something other than regular milk? Like if a man goes and orders oat milk latte.
Only because I'm empathetic to the tummy tolerances these days. Yeah, no, I don't think that.
And that's
You
where
never know what they're going through.
Well, that's where I'm empathetic. Also, I do have the ibs, but I'm still gonna be judgy and be like, look at that pussy ordering a fucking oat milk latte. Yes!
That little bitch.
Look at that little bitch. She can't
Oh
even
my
order, like,
God.
she can't even order cow's milk.
Okay, vote here. Do you think Priya, based off of this episode, has empathy or not? Cast in your votes. Thank you. Okay, give me the next one.
All right, therapy. Blessing or a curse?
Blessing.
I would say, and this is...
If this doesn't help you make your vote, I don't know what will. Carry on, Maria.
let me take the jacket off for this one and scoot up
Wait,
here.
look at your arms. God damn.
Let me just...
Go ahead, go off. She's looking really good.
What I lack in ass, I got in arms.
That's right. Okay, answer now.
All right. So this is excluding like the severe traumatic events, right? You go through something that is just absolutely buck wild. Yes, believe therapy is 100% a blessing and beneficial. I still would say therapy is a blessing. I would say where it ventures into the curse territory is when like you become too dependent on therapy or a therapist. Because isn't the end goal of therapy to be able to graduate from your therapist and to have your own mental fortitude and your own ways of being able to deal with shit? Like,
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't know.
Like, and that's where, like, I wouldn't want, if you keep going to a therapist all the time for the same thing over and over, aren't you just reopening up that wound and you're reliving that trauma? Which I do think you should initially. Yes, cathartic, get it all out, feel it, and, accept it, live with it. But you have to, again, in my mind, move on. You have to keep going. You have to get past it. And I would want a therapist that is seeing me with the intention of never seeing me again. I want him to prepare me for whatever life is going to throw my way. So, I do think that, okay, you can go to a therapist, you can get over whatever you got over. For me, for example, I saw one, loved him, graduated, but then life hit me with something way different. Just way different. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't know how to deal with that one specific thing. Mm-hmm. I went for one session, and then he, said some magic words, it clicked, and then I didn't see him again. Now, though, because he was such a great therapist and I got whatever tools I needed from him, that when I am struggling with something mentally or whatever, I think, what would Dr. Blumberg say? I sit there and I have conversations. I'm sitting on the sofa and I'm with him. But that's because he did that for me, and then I didn't keep going. So it was on me also to not keep going and relying on him to do it for me. I grew up, Birdie is flying. Now I can deal with life and shit on my own, for the most part. Touch-ups are required, like with anything. But
exactly, that's what I was going to say. Touch-ups are required, and life is, you're aging with new mysteries, new experiences. Right. I would not think of it as a bird learning how to fly. I would think of it as pit stops. Like, your bird is flying and it's going places, but it needs to pause and take a second. And in that second, you're getting more information and gathering new knowledge from your therapist for a whole different experience. And then you graduate from that experience, but something else happens. I don't think therapy is a curse in the sake of you're going back and rehashing the same thing. I mean, maybe for some people, depending on what that timeline for that thing is, but I think that, let's say that something really big happens and you're recovering from that, but on top of that happening, other things are happening. So you're less capable of handling those littler things because this big thing happened at the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So you are fixing this, but you're still not sure on how to handle X, Y, and Z along the lines here. So I don't know, depending on what you're in therapy for, it could affect what your conversations look like. But I don't think you're not expected to graduate and then never see a therapist again. You can graduate from a certain thing and then you'll move on and then you'll talk about something else because that's relevant in your life.
No, see, in my mind, my opinion, you should graduate for life. I think you should, and this is where I love that therapy is an option for people, and yes, people will need it for whatever. But for myself, I want to become mentally strong on my own, that no matter what new thing life throws at me, I'm able to deal with it on my own.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also depends on, what support you have. So maybe some people only have a therapist to talk to.
Right.
Unfortunately, or they have other people, but they're not saying the right stuff.
You need that, third-party, unbiased words. Because your friends or family can say the exact same shit to you, but when you hear it from someone else, it hits differently.
That's kind of why I started seeing, I see a therapist and I'm very open about it. Kind of why along the lines of why I started seeing one is because I, at a certain point, felt like I was burdening everyone around me by saying stuff that it's really not fair for them to have to deal with. That's not their burden. Okay, but it's fucking this person's burden because I'm paying them. So I will have the same one-off conversations here and there with my friends along the way, but at the end of the day, when I go and see my therapist about not the same topic, I talk about anything and everything relevant from when I started seeing her a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. It's I stopped seeing her for, I don't know, 6 months, and then I started seeing her again, and then I'm planning a wedding right now, so that's fucking relevant, and I need someone to kind of help me get through the challenges of something like that, which for some people it's you're seeing a therapist for a wedding. It's yeah, I'm seeing a therapist for a wedding. Maria's non-empathetic ass is you bitch.
I was not gonna say anything at all. I was just
you don't need to. Where For anyone who needs to see a therapist for planning a wedding, I understand. I hear you.
Call Gina.
Come see me. Come see me. Call a therapist.
Don't come to me.
Don't go to Maria. You know what? You start planning your wedding, and when you're having a hard time, you call me too. I got you.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I do. But I had something else to say also. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, it's funny because I was thinking I can never be a therapist because I'm too empathetic and there's
Black cat, you're a golden retriever.
Yes. You know, depending on what kind of therapist you want, I may be a damn good therapist.
Say, listen, I need you to huck up your pants and get the fuck over it. I'm gonna be like, I hear you. Let's work through this. Point A, point B.
You know, we should tag team a therapy office and like, you know.
I do not want to be in an office. Actually, you know what? I will, because then all your patients are going to come running to me and make me a lot of money. So
the little bitches will go to Gina. The people who are ready to fly and graduate will stick with me.
Nobody stop listening to us because of Maria, please. Okay, give us the next one. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Oh, okay. Owning a pet.
I literally thought that today when I was cleaning up my cat's puke. I was like, they're great, but like
they're tough. Like we started with kids, right? That was the first topic. Same thing. Owning a pet, they are tough. They hold you back. You know,
they're both.
They're both. But fuck, I would never.
I wouldn't trade it.
To have loved is wait. What's the saying? God damn it.
To have loved and lost is better to have never loved at all.
Exactly. Like I have had a period in my life where I didn't have a pet. It was brief, and it sucked. So I got a cat.
Like living on your own with no pets is bleak. Especially when you were going into the office every day. You're going into the office every day,
no
you work out, you come home, it's dark, and then you're making your own sad little dinner. And again, this is like very judgy, and not everyone feels this way. But this is speaking from me. Come home dark, make my sad little salad, and then watch my show on my phone because my TV was in the box on the floor because I don't have furniture, and then go to bed, wake up, repeat.
So specific.
I got a cat, and then I'm happy.
Oh my god. That was very specific. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I was about to murder that cat in the first week that I got her because she would just not shut up. It's Cleo. It's the one that I have.
Yeah. Oh, really, Cleo?
Yeah.
Oh.
She was my first on my own cat pet. And when I got her, she would just cry and cry and cry all through the night. Mm-hmm. And to the point where I did get fed up. And so I opened up my door and I was like, whatever happens, happens. There goes $300 out the door.
Spent $300 on your cat.
Well, I had to like pay for her shots and I had to buy all the shit.
Okay.
I didn't have anything. It was $300 total, you know.
Callie was $40.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ozzy was
got her on a discount Tuesday.
Ozzy was $50 and look where that got us. We have Cleo and Ozzy. My Ozzy is my black one. She's the demon. And then Cleo is the little angel. But she wasn't an angel to begin with. Yeah, I opened up the door because I'm like, you need to fuck right off, please. And she did. But she came back and then she was quiet. So I was like, she was a fucking indoor-outdoor cat this whole time. She just wanted freedom. She just wanted autonomy.
That's so sweet.
And so, yeah, things were better after that.
Yeah, see, Callie might just be an outdoor-indoor cat, and I will not let her out. So last night, just exactly that, crying all throughout the night. She's normally not like that. I think it's when she is, what's it called? When you're like...
Sad.
No, trying to have babies, but you're...
Oh, she's in heat.
I think she's in heat.
You never got her spayed?
Can't you go through heat with being spayed?
No, you get spayed and then you don't go through heat.
I think you still have hormones.
Yeah, but my cats definitely don't go through heat.
Okay, well, maybe I'm just finding an excuse for it. Are you going to look it up?
Yeah,
okay.
Keep going.
I feel like she has these spurs where, like, it'll be, like, for a week or two. Well, she'll just, like, be so off the walls crying at night. And then, for a period of time, it's not an issue. I don't even think twice about it. But last night she was doing that and I was like, oh my God. And then, but a couple of weeks ago, Greg took her to the vet and she was only gone for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And it felt so empty. I'm like, this
Hello,
house.
Darkness, my old friend.
It was so sad. I hated it. And so I'm like, I need my baby. But she came and then she would cry all night. I'm like, God damn it. So blessing, curse. Hands down, both. But I'm going to go with blessing.
Yeah, the answer is no. They should not go through heat.
Okay, then I'm just finding an excuse for why she cries for no fucking reason for a week.
Maybe she just needs a friend. She's all by herself.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get over that because that's not where we are in our lives right now.
Just get a second cat.
No.
Do it. Let's see here.
How much time we got? Give us one more.
All right. Let's end on the. Have you seen? You have seen it because I sent you the video. The pole vaulting video of the French pole vaultist in the Olympics who got
schlong.
Who had a big problem.
A very big problem.
A big problem. Who did not get gold because of said blessing or curse.
I was like, where are you going with this? Oh, that's great.
Blessing, curse?
Blessing.
Except you don't get the gold.
You gotta
who needs the gold?
You got a schlong. You got a big old schlong. You're fine. Now, to back that, too big, there is such thing, gents.
There is.
There is such thing.
I was going to say, are we going to go there? Because, painful.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's a con.
Here's a trigger warning. If you don't want to hear about sex for a second, then fast forward. Okay, I'm jumping. Ready?
Let's go.
Go. If you insert that penis into that vagina and it is too big, then you're not getting much pleasure because you're not able to go in all the way in.
And then she's not.
And she's in a lot of pain.
You're hitting her cervix.
And you can't, rail the woman. I'm sorry. I hope if you decided to go forward, you've already made that choice.
I like how we went really scientific to fucking rail.
If you want to rail, which is just... you can't do that because that's not allowed with too big of a penis. So if you're thinking, "Ugh, I'm average," it's like the motion of the ocean. If you can get that one down, you're fine. Don't worry about it being too big. Okay. Now there's too small. I can't tell you there, but
yeah, there is such thing as too small. There is such thing as too big.
Okay.
Average is a sweet spot.
Now that's PG. Or we go back to PG.
And let's go back.
Okay.
That was the last one that I had.
Blessing.
I'll stick with it. It's both.
Okay, I will say one last one. We have a few on here. I'm gonna throw them out there. Yeah, okay. And we won't dive in. Okay. Online shopping.
Blessing. God bless. Yes.
No. Oh God.
Amazon.
Losing a lot of money.
Blessing.
Yeah. Spent thousands of dollars in 1 month. Whatever. Lottery.
Oh yeah, shit. I totally skipped over that. Winning the lottery is definitely, in my mind, a curse.
It's a curse.
And I think we should do a whole episode on it because I went to look up lottery.
Some stories of
they're wild.
There's a show that is literally on how lotteries ruin someone's life. So I would agree.
Keep it, yeah.
We always say, what would you do when you win a lottery? Okay, well, let's cross that bridge when it comes because I can guarantee you're not going to do what you're fucking sitting there saying. You're going to become a wild person. So you need to be fucking prepared.
I wonder how many people successfully win the lottery.
I know.
Don't get killed by other people or family members.
Let's hold it because you're right. I think we could have a really good talk on that. Okay. Love.
Oh, blessing. No question.
Yeah.
The curse is if you're empathetic or even if you're not empathetic and you lose your loved one and then you go through that grief, but the blessing was still that you had someone that you loved that much to experience that much pain.
Exactly. Emotionally aware. So you know how your feelings are going to, or how what you say is going to impact everyone. So that leads to overthinking and anxiety.
Mm-hmm. I would say, is that emotional IQ? Or,
sure.
Or are you saying overthinking is one?
It's emotional. I'm gonna say emotional IQ because like
Blessing. Because those people that don't have it suck.
yeah, but they're living in bliss. Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah.
Or the people like me who question everything that I say to anyone in every conversation ever.
But you just have to get over that.
Yeah. Well, or my friend that I've said her name before.
Oh, yeah.
She feels really bad if she like says one little wrong thing and thinks about it for a whole day.
Overthink something that I did not give a single thought about.
Yeah. Having a big house.
Oh, curse. That's so much to clean.
Uh-huh. It's like, oh, I love the space, but how far is that really going to get you? Unless you're using it for a big-ass family and you need the space.
Yeah, and you have a maid.
But, yeah, exactly. I'm like, if you have something to kind of keep up, and you have the money that is just endless, and you are okay with taking care of X, Y, and Z appliances breaking all over the place, great.
Yeah, the maintenance.
Big
Like,
house.
The dust alone. The dust in this small-ass house
Yeah.
is hard to manage.
That's all. So yeah, throwing some shit out there. If you've got some things that are a blessing and curse, arguably, throw it in
Let us know.
the hat for us to talk about.
Weekly wow.
Okay. Be empathetic.
You cannot just tell someone to be something.
Me look you dead in the eyes. Clean up your whole life.
Be empathetic. Be a good person. You're the one that said these have to be smart.
I know. I just wanted to lick you in the eyes.
Specific, measurable.
We had a really good trend going that whole time. Little good pattern. So I just wanted to throw that at you. Okay.
Yeah, I can't see the eye contact. I'm not looking into your soul. Weekly wow.
Are you gonna pause this in the video?
In the YouTube video?
Yeah. Oh, that's just sitting here like,
All the dead air of thinking. Oh, I had some on my phone, but I didn't write them down. Okay, I'll go. Shit. It has, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but it's one that I've had on my list. And so just throw it out there. Check in on your positive friends. Have we said that already? Or have I only just thought it?
I like that. If you have said it, let's remind it. I don't know.
Check in on your positive friends. They may seem like they're doing fine, but they're not always the happy dandy exterior that they put on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a great one. Good job, Maria.
Thank you.
My little sweet,
my little empathetic person. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I am empathetic. Just not.
That's your.
I am empathetic.
Your words to yourself in the mirror in the morning. I am empathetic.
You are empathetic. You can relate. You love people. You
understand what people are going
understand.
through. I can do anything.
You just don't join their pity parties.